welcome to another video. And surprise, surprise, we've got my RTP in there now, and you can see now that we've decorated it with our RiderCamTV livery.
RiderCamTV livery.
How cool does it look? I think it's just an amazing bike. I just love it. I'm kind of scared because my GSA hasn't been used since I bought it.
It's going, isn't it?
No,
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I'm going to take this on a tour though, because many of you asked, are you going to take it on a tour? So I think I ought to take it on a tour. So I've got some bags that we'll talk about perhaps when I'm touring. I've built a cabin.
RiderCamTV stickers?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I built a cabin in there to hold my stuff.
Hang on.
How cool is that? Does it look professional?
Well, you have to define professional, don't you?
Does it look like I've been out and bought it? Yes is the word that you're looking for, Mark.
Okay. Yes, it is.
But it's really strange because you think that you've got all the space, but you haven't because it's cut out. But these bikes you can get the bigger hump for. Some of them come with a bigger hump, some of them come with a smaller one. Weird. Anyway, we're going to be
You've been
talking...
fitting stuff to it, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I fitted a Sat Nav. So we will be doing in a future video, a video about this. A vision of loveliness. I can hear the gods singing now. This is how you navigate your way around the world. You use your eyes, but these machines are brilliant. This is the XT2. And I've got to say, a lot faster than the XT, bigger screen, brighter screen. There are some downsides to this. I think the apps are very, very clunky about getting routes onto it in the right way.
But I'll go into that now, though.
Overall, it's a really good unit. But what I wanted to be able to do was to be able to fit the XT2 onto my beautiful, beautiful bike that I've called Barnabas.
Barnabas?
Barney for short. Yeah. I didn't want Barry the Beamer because that's just wrong, isn't it? Barney the Beamer. Anyway.
How weird is that? Why would you name it?
Because I love my bike. I genuinely don't understand why I like this bike so much. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
When does the therapist see you next?
Yeah. So I wanted to be able to fit the Garmin XT2 and the XT onto both bikes that I've got. Yes, I'm fortunate to have both bikes, but I want to be able to use both sat navs on either bike, no matter what I chose.
Chew? I'm eating them now.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So what I had initially done is the Garmin XT2 comes with this square plate. Now,
I was all over the place. I've lost you now because you're moving around, look.
I bring props.
Rummaging, you're rummaging.
I'm rummaging in my cavernous 20-litre boxes. Right, so the Garmin XT2 comes with that. Now that is the mount for your sat nav to put it onto any bike. Yeah?
Yep.
And what it does is it clicks into the bottom and it clicks into, and these, I must say, the XT2 is harder to click in than the XT because it has got different notches on the side here.
Stop moving it around, you're making it really awkward for me.
Different notches here.
Yep.
And then it's got these rubber bits on there, which presents a bit of a problem.
Oh.
Because the XT hasn't got those notches and it hasn't got those rubber bungs.
Oh.
Which means that the XT2 will fit and it will work flawlessly on an XT mounting plate from Garmin. The same isn't true the other way around, so you can't fit an XT.
And we found out about that because I had to order the XT2 mounting plate for my XT2.
Yeah, and where did you order it from?
From the Adventure Bike Shop.
Yeah, whereas it's probably easier just to go to 3DAM because they sent it to me within 2 days from Italy.
3DAM, I tried to contact them but they had no stock and had no stock for, I think it's for 2 months.
Oh, well, I got it on the same day that you said that they had no stock.
Oh, okay, just make me feel stupid then. So the Adventure Bike Shop had one anyway, but they unfortunately sent me the XT version of it, which doesn't fit the XT2. But they changed it within a week.
The reason it doesn't fit is because this bit inside with the 3 pins on for the XT2, the XT only has 2 pins. doesn't really matter for charging, and it doesn't seem to matter if you use the XT2 on the XT plate with the 2 pins. It's getting very confusing.
Yeah.
But that rectangle bit in the middle is bigger on the XT2. So if you've got a 3DAM printed mount for the XT, it's not suitable for the XT2 mount because that is bigger.
That's what I found
That's
out.
what we found out. So what I wanted to do was find a way of, rather than mounting that onto this bike and only being able to use the XT2 on it, because it's not backwards compatible, only in its fitting, I wanted some way of being able to use both sat navs on both bikes. Now, if you pan down...
Span? If I span down here?
I shall hide this bit, but pan down here. Above the dials on any civilian, shall we say, RT bike, this has got the indent and the preparation for the sat nav.
There's usually a big, like a rectangle cut
Yeah.
into the dash, isn't there?
Yeah, but the RTPs, the police versions, blood bike versions, authority versions, don't come with it, which I think is short-sightedness on the buyers from the fleets of these bikes, because they've got to be thinking about resale value. Things like cruise control, things that people are interested in when they want to buy it. They're not buying it just because it's an ex-police bike. They're buying it because they want to use a bike with higher mileage that's just as good, but for a cheaper price. But they still want the gadgets, don't they?
Yep.
So what I did was I went onto eBay and I found this lovely thing here. Now usually these are like 200-300 quid.
Yeah.
£63 on eBay.
Whoa,
Brand new.
that's a steal.
With a key. Now I've got to recode the key for my bike key. But what I've then got at the back, you might, if you come around this way, Mark, I have got a Hornig mount, this metal piece around here with this bit. It's all machined metal. And what I did, this is for the older version of the RT.
So it's actually this plate here,
Yeah.
this bit here we're looking at.
Yeah, this plate with
It's hard to
Hornig
see
written
through the
on it.
screen, that's all.
So that is for the older style of RT. So I drilled 2 holes, one there and one where the other screw is, put 2 massive washers in behind it, took all of this off because it's really easy to take off, and then designed.
Design?
Yeah, I designed. So I had to cut the Hornig mount. So I've cut the mount just in behind here because the bevel of the lock actually fouls
see.
across it.
I see, so you're talking about that bit there. That,
Yeah.
You had to cut that much, what, about 25 mil out? 50?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
About that. So just to make sure that it fitted right. So I fitted that. Now, on these bikes, on the standard RT, if you're looking for the connection, because lots of people remove this and put their XT or their TomTom.
No, Tom, do they? Out of need?
Yeah, there are other sat navs, there are other devices, there are mobile phone cradles, all that sort of jazz, quad lock things. They need power, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I had set up this mount going through to a power hub with the power and ground. Works fine. But I wanted something that was a little bit easier to use. Now on these bikes, down in here, hidden on the right hand side, in between the yoke and the outside of the bike, somewhere is a plug. It's got like 3 pins, and that is a preparation for the sat nav or for accessories that BMW put on there, which usually zip clipped around something with a plug on the top.
What that tells me is the bike comes off the production line as a standard bike.
No, this one doesn't. These come off the production line as an authority bike with all the extra wiring, the auxiliary batteries, the auxiliary wiring.
But all the original wiring for a bike is already fitted to it.
I guess so.
Like if they're saying that's where it's normally fitted.
Yeah, but it wasn't there.
Oh no!
No. So I took the whole side of the bike off, both sides.
Stole Toby's wire.
Tried to find it. So if ever you're in the same position and you want to do the same, what you need to do is come around this side here, Mark.
I feel like I'm being directed.
You remove that bolt, and that bolt. These black bits come off. Then you've got 1 bolt either side. Take that off and then the screen comes off.
Excellent.
Then the whole of this triangle piece just comes off. And then underneath there, then you've got the nuts and bolts of where this is actually fitted. And that comes off with 2 screws that are screwed into the side. And then you've got these 2 screws here. And then basically the whole thing just comes forward. And as a last resort, I took this off and thought, there's got to be a plug here somewhere. And lo and behold, zip clipped in the depths behind the dials was the clip. So I've clipped the BMW satellite navigation preparation into there, and it powers up and turns off with the ignition like you would expect on a GSA or any other BMW that's made for the public. So what that means now is I can plug my XT2 into its original mount, onto the 3D AM printed mount, and now I can go ahead and I can put it onto my bike and then lock it in place, and now it's as secure as it is on a GSA, and it's powered, it comes on, turns off, does all its stuff like you would expect.
You're happy with that, aren't you? I can see where this stupid
I'm really
grin on
happy
your face.
because if I wanted to, if I borrowed Mark's bike for the day or another BMW, so you take, this one goes in for service, they give me another bike and I need to go and do something, because they all come with a BMW preparation, I just unclip that and push it straight on and it works in exactly the same way. There's no faffing with this stuff. And whilst I think this is really good, people like Garmin and TomTom, they all have to make their own proprietary connections to get them to work, don't they? But they make it so difficult. Why on earth have they made an XT2 bracket different than the XT? So now somebody buying or upgrading, if you wanted to, from an XT to an XT2, you then have to remove all the wiring from the XT to then be able to put all the wiring for the XT2 on there, which is very strange.
It is.
Because the XT will not go on there, it will not hold on there, so you can't use it. I just wish that they'd think amongst themselves a little bit more about the real use scenarios of how people use it. But that said, I've now got Sat Nav on here that I can move to my GSA, my XT I can use on here, and as I turn the bike on, it starts up straight away.
In actual fact, I like that in that position. But, well, that's me working into
it's
this.
just starting up. That's the third
I like
eye.
that in that position as opposed to having the cutout down there.
Well, yeah.
Because if you have the cutout, I believe once you've got the sat nav coming there you are. Once you have the sat nav in, I'm not sure you can actually tilt that.
No, you can't.
Tilt the clocks.
I think you can. I think you can. I'm not sure. However, I thought the same. I thought riding around with it. So I've had a couple of days riding around with it like this. I thought that having it higher up would be in my line of sight, because you sit differently on different bikes, don't you? Yeah. It's not. It's actually complementary, because now I was thinking of riding up to Mark's to do our filming, looking down to the place where it would have been.
Yeah.
I would have had to have looked down further. Now it's just a drop of the eyes and you know that you're on the right route. It doesn't take away anything. And the thing that I'm really, really proud about is that for my OCD, it's dead centre. So when I'm riding, it's not too far right or too far left. It's actually really, really good and it's in the right place.
That is a real issue for you, isn't it?
And it doesn't foul on the screen. So if I just put the screen up, just in case you didn't see the bit that I've had to cut, which is that bit there around the bevel. So I just had to cut that out.
Along this line here and then up into that little area there.
Yeah.
Just to allow that, the lock part of the sat nav to fit in properly.
Yeah. And I had to put a couple of, I had to space it out with a couple of washers on the back just to give it that like couple of millimeters. Now the thing is, I thought that it being so far forward towards the rider that it would be like that all the way. Hardly any movement, certainly no more movement than any other sat nav that you've got on any other bike. I think the GSAs handle the vibrations a lot better. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more vibrations come through this bike than the GSA, because that telelever, something on the front is very different. But yeah, now I've got my sat nav on there. How cool is that?
Happy boy.
Yeah, Barney has been fitted with a way to navigate the world. Unbelievable. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you in the next video, which might well be something else about my lovely bike. Night, Barney.